Look. You're now tuning in to BS Talk. She came to keep it 100, not the BS show. So listen to Queen Key. She here with some free game. No he say, no she say, but maybe a replay of the news, giving views, and she dropping shoes. Maybe even a couple tools that you can use. Yeah, cause there's a lot we need to talk about. So we gon' kick it like we chillin' at the barbershop. BS Talk. BS Talk. BS Talk. This is BS Talk. Yeah. BS Talk. BS Talk. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Queen Key BS Talk. So today we have a couple with us, my sister Tanika and LB, better known as Lamont. So we're gonna be talking about 27 years strong, 27 years of marriage, that is, and they're pretty young. So Tanika, how old are you?
I'm 48.
48, and
just turned the big 50 years old.
So 48 and 50 and been married for 27 years. That is a long time. So, shoot, to be married like that, you got married like right after high school.
Absolutely.
So I'm talking about graduated in June, got married in July. So, I mean, so how young was y'all when y'all first started dating?
I think I was about 15.
I was about 17.
So 15, 17. So Tanika would have been in school. So how did that work out? Like how'd y'all get together?
It's been so long I can't remember. No, I was visiting a friend of mine, and we were just talking, and all of a sudden this cute little fine girl walks by, and she speaks to my friend, and I was like, whoa, who is that? You know, and they told me, oh, that's Tanika. And I'm like, where'd she come from? And one thing led to another, so I was totally infatuated with her beauty. And I was still a kid, so I wrote a letter. Hey, my name is Lamont. I like you. Do you like me? Y'all remember that stuff, right? So, folded the letter up, gave it to my friend, and he gave it to her. And surprisingly, little Miss Tanika responded, and we went from there.
Yep.
So from that day, y'all been dating ever since.
Ever since. Love at first sight.
That's like, did you know that she would be your wife then, or did you figure it out on down the road?
No, I did not. It took about 2 years before I realized that this is the one. This is who God created for me to have. 2 years I realized that. And I was totally satisfied with that. And I was willing and accepting to give up all of the unnecessary stuff that teenage boys do. I didn't have a chance to partake in that because I chose not to partake in that. As old people say, spread your oats. I didn't do that. I knew that I had a mission to do, and this was the one to help me accomplish that mission. So, yeah.
So 2 years it took you to say, dang, that's the one I want to marry her. So how did you feel? Did you feel the same way? I mean, you were so young.
Yeah, I felt the same way, but pretty much that he was gonna be my husband down the road because he was such a great guy.
Still is.
Yeah, you are. So yeah.
So and looking for and saying that she would be your wife, what are some of the qualities that you seen in her that you was like, I want her to be the one? What wife qualities did you see in her?
Don't laugh, but the first quality that I really fell in love with was she could cook. excellent cook. I mean, it started out as bologna sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly, but they were totally on point. And as I began to visit her home with her mother's permission, with our mother's permission, I began to watch how Tanika maneuvered around the kitchen and around the home, and the way she, kept things nice, neat, and in order, and that really stood out to me. So I knew at that age that I was looking for a nurturing wife, a nurturing girlfriend at that time. I knew that's what I was looking for, and I seen those potentials in her immediately. So everything else was going uphill.
So what are some of the qualities that you seen in Lamont for him to be your husband, before y'all got married?
Things that that my mom may have not was able to get me, like when I was in school, he was there. If I, if she couldn't get it to me at the time, he was right there, to be able to assist me in school. Just anything in general, just clothing, everything. If I asked, he got it, with no hesitation about it.
So, Tanika, what are some of the qualities that you see in him now that y'all are married and he is your husband now? What are some of the good qualities that keep you still wanting him as a husband after 27 years? What are some of the good qualities you still see in him?
He's a hard worker. He works, he provides, no matter what the situation may be, he's there. He got it. With me working or with me not working, he always had our back in our family of, the Blackmans, and he never put us down no matter what it was.
So he's a provider. That's one of the good qualities that a woman has to have in a man, to be a provider. You got to go get it and provide for your family. So how do you feel as him being a protector?
Oh, absolutely. He's a protector of our family. I mean, he makes sure before anybody, once we get ready to go to bed, he makes sure that everything is secure.
So what are some of the good wife qualities that you still see in Tanika, like right now that she's grown, wife, qualities that you see in her?
Oh, the great qualities that I've seen in her. Even though we've been married 27 years, 2 years ago, I broke my ribs. I broke 4 ribs. And during this accident and recovery time, I always knew that, my wife loved me unconditionally. But at that moment, 2 years ago, when I could not do for myself, I realized the things that she did for me, and her concern and her lack of sleep and things of that. I realized that she truly is sent from God for me. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it'd be the same for another married couple, but I just totally feel like she was born and built just for me. So I can say that we are, pretty much fortunate to have each other in our lives, and be able to acknowledge that I'm for her and she's for me. A lot of couples don't realize that. But anyhow, I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. I'm gonna let you, Miss Kiana, ask me the questions, because when it comes to marriage, I can really go in. No, I'm not a professional counselor, but I'm telling you from my life experiences, the things that I have seen and the things that I'm still seeing, things that I have been through. I really would like to, if I could just reach out to the young people. I see so many young marriages today that don't last for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what's going on? So, there has to be a foundation. Mm-hmm. And I feel like me and Tanika, we really had a good, strong foundation. First thing that we did discover is we had something in common. You got to have something in common. Mm-hmm. Not just because she looked good and I look good. No, you really got to have an activity in common, whether it's fishing, mountain climbing. My wife and I, we love to go traveling. We love to travel. Mm-hmm. So that's our foundation. Even when things get a little in the uproar at home, because we human, it's going to happen. Guess what? I don't want to hear no more, book a trip. And that's how we do. That's how we go, even if it's just down the street to Rock Hill, South Carolina. Even if it's just to Myrtle Beach. We get away, different scenery, and we clear our heads, and we come back to the table, and we keep it going. So
you're saying for the couple that may not have a lot of money, they're saying, well, shoot, we can't really go and book trips and do this. You're saying still take a trip. So what are some of the things that if you don't, because I know that, shoot, it ain't always been where you had money. What are some of the things that a couple can do if they don't have a lot of money, but they just need that prep in their marriage? What are like a few things that they can do to keep it going?
It sounds crazy. Some of my answers will sound crazy, but to start at home, rearrange the house. Couch been over here for 6 months. Let's just switch the scenery up. You always sleep on the left side of the bed. Let me sleep on the left side of the bed. Sleep on the right side of the bed. Things like that. You know what? You always cooking. Let me cook for the next 5 days. Just switch things up. And as you make those adjustments, keep a lot of positive energy in it. You know, crack a joke. If you don't know a joke, give me a call. Miss Kiana give y'all my number when we finish. You know, just it's a lot of things that you can do to change the atmosphere. Change the atmosphere.
Yeah. You have
I know it was something that me and him had fell out about a couple of years ago. Something probably real crazy. I don't remember exactly what it was. But I remember I was at work. I got off the bus and I looked. I was like, I know I don't have no ticket on my window. Got to the window. He done wrote a little note and said, I love you, baby. And had a little flower sitting on the steering wheel. And I was like, oh, look at that. Oh, he loves me. I was like, that was so cute. And that just took all the anger and whatever it was away, because that felt so good to me for him to do something sweet.
And that was 2 years ago. So that's 2 years ago. So that was 25 years in marriage. So that was still something different. So you always got to keep things different in the relationship too. So you try new things, but you got to keep your marriage going with doing different things. So y'all have 2 children together, and then you have another son. So y'all have 3 kids. So how does it work with somebody that has children in the house, and you still trying to keep things live? What are some things you do with the kids? And we're going to start from when they were little, because a lot of times you find a lot of couples, they break up because they had infants, and they don't know how to deal with the infants being in the marriage, because it's so fresh, and now we have this fresh baby. So how do you keep it going with a little infant in the house, being in a marriage?
Well, I think you always have to, whatever you do as a spouses, you have to always have the child around, include the child in a lot of things that you do. And if they're very young, it's no, hey, Tanika, can you come here? It's mama. Hey, mama. Whether she's the I hate to say step parent, but you know what I mean. You know, whoever is carrying that role, it has to be mom and daddy. Say that around your children, mom and daddy. Another thing that helps is let the children see love being expressed. You know, when you're in the living room and it's movie night, Netflix night, mama can't be on that couch and daddy over there on that couch, and the little baby sitting in the middle of the floor. No, we're gonna come on, baby. We're gonna sit the baby right here, and we're gonna cuddle up and honey boo boo like this, and we're gonna watch TV. Things like that stick with a child. It's the energy that they feel, and they will always remember when they get older. I always seen mom and dad like this, so now I got a family. We're gonna be like this. This is the right thing to do. So it's a lot of things that you can do, but you have to walk on ice. You really have to watch what you say, how you say it, you know, and things like that. That's a whole nother subject, Miss Kiana. It really can be another subject, and I would love to be a part of that once you put it out there. But yeah.
So what do you say to the couple that they still want to be intimate, but they have this infant and they can't find time, you know, for themselves? How can they still be intimate with one another? What do you do with that infant child, so that y'all still can have some mommy and daddy time? Like, what suggestions can you make for that married couple that's fresh that's going through because they don't know how to find a way to do those type of things?
That's a good question. Intimacy is one of the four strong pillars of a marriage. And intimacy not necessarily meaning intercourse, but raising a family. Some old folks say it takes a village to raise a family, and that's absolutely true. When mom has been stretched out for 2 or 3 weeks straight, breastfeeding or whatever it may be, taking care of the child while dad is out there getting it in, we got to have others involved in raising a family. Hey mom, hey dad, hey auntie, can you watch little JoJo, for the weekend or just one night, or can we just get 8 hours? Can you watch little JoJo for 8 hours so that we can go to McDonald's and have a Big Mac, just me and her? That's what it takes. It also takes two to tango. So dad, hey, if you're planning a family, which we should do, that's another topic. Parent planning is everything.
Yes.
Hey, I got 2 weeks vacation, just had a baby, my wife is stressed out. Mr. Boss Man, I need 3 days. I'm just gonna take a little JoJo, and honey, here you go. You go take a spa. You do what you got to do. It takes everyone to be involved. So that's how we can get our intimacy time in, by asking others to be a part. Everyone loves kids. I mean, if you don't, shame on you. But I think that it would not be a problem for a married couple to find someone else to give a little relief to the married couple.
Yeah. So Tanika, what are some of the things that because y'all have boys and girls, so what are some of the things that you do as far as, let's say, well, Lamont, you go away and you take the boy and I'll take the girls. Like, what are some of the things you do with you and having your daughter time? What are some things that you can suggest for a mom that's with the daughter, mom and daughter time?
Always, that word communication. Always communicate with your, with your daughter, especially, mommy and daughter. You want that connect. You want that bond. I'm your friend. I'm your mother, but I am your friend. But when I'm mommy, and when I'm your friend. And when we're talking, we are friends. So we're gonna, communicate that way. If you having issues or problems or whatever, I'm here for you at all times, and I let her know that whatever you got on your mind, whatever's going on, come to me. If you can't come to me, go to somebody and talk to them. If you can't talk to me, but me and my daughter has that communication together to where we have that bond that she can talk to me about whatever it is. On the phone, in the room, in the car, at the park. That's what we do.
So how did you make her feel comfortable with talking to you? Because it's very hard a lot of times with kids to feel comfortable with talking to a parent. So how would you tell the parent how to make, let the child know that it's okay? How did you let her know that it was okay for her to be comfortable with talking to you?
Talk softly. We can't do that hollering and stuff, because when you start hollering at your kids and raising your voice and stuff, that make the kids sometimes go to the left and feel uncomfortable of wanting to tell you what they really want to tell you. So they may tell you, if you do all that hollering and stuff, they may go, okay, you know what, I'm not going to tell my mom or dad, I'm ready to have sex, or, I'm ready to date or whatever. I'm going to just go and just, tell her I'm not doing that. But then on the back end, they doing it because they don't feel comfortable coming to talk to me about it. So, I just sit and listen.
So basically making them feel comfortable. So, LB, how do you make your son, what are some of the things that y'all do to bond? Now, I mean, he's older now, but what are some of the things that y'all do to have a bond that he has that relationship with you?
Oh, wow. I knew from the start, because I lacked this in the early childhood years of myself. So first of all, that's where it starts. I always said that if I ever have a family, I want to be what I never received, to my kids. So It starts at this: create the bond and always be in the bond. My son, I created a bond of dirt cars. He liked to see the cars run around the track. I forgot what you call it. Bigfoot and all them boys. Big trucks.
Monster cars.
Yeah, monster cars. Monster car.
Yeah.
I introduced it to him, and he fell in love with it. So, every 3 or 4 times a year we would go there, and now his guard is down as a kid. He's just, wow, So when I catch him at that moment, then I would talk to him. Hey, this truck is nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's nice. So then after that, I was just kind of, hey man, everything good? How's it going to school? How's pre-K? Any boys in the neighborhood bothering you? And I would always do that with him, and that would kind of let his guards down and feel like, you know what? My dad is cool. He take me to see the trucks. We talk about this. We have French fry day at McDonald's. We have Dairy Queen day on Sundays. You have to create the bond. You cannot create that bond when your child is 16, 17 years old. It's very difficult at that time. So start early.
That's what both of them.
Yeah.
Both
Yes.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now that they're older and gone from the house, a lot of couples, they start to separate, and one go one way, the other go the other way, because the kids, they leaving the house. So what is keeping y'all still together 27 years? And actually it'll be how many in July?
28.
28 years in July. So 28 years in July. What is still keeping y'all together? Like, the kid's gone.
Yeah, it's
You
not
know?
the kids that keeps us together.
Tell you.
So what? It wasn't the kids. What's still keeping you?
What's still keeping us going, still keeping us excited, is just like when we first met. I didn't know her, she didn't know me. And it's so fun learning someone that you have interest in. Well, I figured out that, you know what, and all together 30 years later, it's the same thing. Tanika's not the same one I met 30 years ago. I'm not the same guy she met 30 years ago. So it's an ongoing thing. We're changing every day. Menopause kick in, male menopause kick in. No, it's not a word, but yeah, we have it too. So I'm constantly learning this beautiful lady every day, and it's a glorious adventure, and she's constantly learning me. God, I used to be able to tickle my husband on the feet. He can't take that no more, so she's learning me and I'm learning her. And that's what makes us keep going day after day after day. It's a fun lifetime journey. It really is with us. A fun lifetime journey.
So Tanika, do you compliment Lamont? Like, what are some of the things that you may say to him to compliment him as your husband?
Oh, I tell him all the time, I like that beard. He had hair at one point, I told him, I was like, hey, I think you're a little nice with a bald head. I tell him all the time, you look nice with your bald head. I always compliment him about stuff, different change and, clothing. He went from just a round beard to a square beard,
So what are some of the compliments that you may give Tanika to keep it going?
Every day I tell her I love her at least 10 times a day. That's the first compliment. And I compliment her in more than one way. Not always verbally, but that intimate move. Just walk up behind her and hug her while she's cooking on the stove. That intimate move. That's a compliment. I compliment her body. I always compliment her mind and her spirit. So that's another subject too, Miss B. So we gotta keep me on here. But yeah, there's many ways to compliment your spouse, and it's a necessity to do that. It's very important to do that.
Yeah. So talking about compliments, if you find something, LB, that you may not like that's going on with Tanika, but you need to get your point across to her, how would you give her a soft way of knowing what it is that you're trying to get across of communication, so it don't seem too hard on it, but get your point across.
Absolutely. Step out the environment. Step out of your ordinary environment. You know, whether it's me setting up a trip, go to the beach. If that's not your budget, you know, if I live in North Charlotte, hey, go over to West Charlotte. Let's go over here. Let's go to Rainbow. Let's go to Family Dollar. What I got a fat for? Just come with me. I need you with me. You know, get out of your environment, because I realize that once you say certain things that could trigger one's spirit, if they in their everyday environment, it doesn't make it any better. So, you know, I want to get her out of her comfort zone, and get her in a new place and a new time. And then softly just kind of ease my conversation in there, or my concerns. Not a conversation, but my concerns. Ease my concerns in there, and we go from there.
So Tanika, how would you tell Lamont if it's something that you want to compliment? You know, you have something that you want to tell him, and it may not be like something nice, but you want to get your point across to him. How would you say that to him?
A lot of times I would send him a text, because I like to text.
Yeah.
So I'll send him a text and, you know, let him know. And then once I get home, you know, we'll talk about it that way.
So in other words, she gives me heads up.
Yeah.
She gives me heads up.
So you'll know ahead of time of what's going on.
Yeah.
So as far as like husband and wife, when it comes down to setting up trips and getting together and doing nice things for one another, who the one that sets the vibe for that? Like, is it the husband, is the wife, or y'all, you know?
Both. But mainly him.
Yeah.
So it's mainly him.
So you set up the trips, and then you like, how do you let Tanika know? Like, is it mostly surprises or
surprises?
It's mostly surprises, and it's not with me. It's not just about us going out of town. I pick up on things. I can tell when my angel is stressed out. I can tell, you know, when she need a new environment for a moment. I can tell when I need a new environment. I can tell when I'm stressed out. So, depending on how I feel, depending on what I desire, that's the kind of trip I try to set up. You know, woo, it's hot. It's 98 degrees. I need to go somewhere and cool out. So let's book a trip to Canada. You know, let's go to Niagara Falls. You know, so it just depends on the mood and the environment and what's nagging her, what's nagging me. That's how I kind of set up our trips.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tanika, do you ever notice when Lamont need a break? What are some of the things that you may do for him, you know, as a wife, to kind of like, you know, ease his days? Or like he may set a trip up for you. What are some of the things that you may do for him?
Fix him a nice dinner.
I like to eat.
Yeah. Take him to his favorite restaurant. Take him to his favorite restaurant, which is Longhorn. He loves that place. So he know if we going there, he know that's something that I'm doing for him to.
So how did you find out, like the things that Tanika liked? Like, did she just tell you, or are you still learning? You know.
Trial and error. You know, there's a lot come under your belt in 30 years. Trial and error, and also that verbal communication. She kind of tell me the things that she like and don't like. So that's kind of how I figure out, you know, what I need to tune into. It's just communication. You can never have enough of it. So that's how I know what she need and when she need it. Yeah.
Okay. So, Tanika, like, how would you tell Lamont, like, baby, I want, like, when you want something, like, do you just text him? Like, I know you said you text him, but like, do you think, because, you know, texting just started, so that texting thing, I feel like is not always like a real good communication. I think that's for the younger generation. Do you feel like it's better to actually talk to Lamont and go to him and actually let him know how you feel, like when you want to communicate with him? Like, how do you actually go to him? Like, how do you set up that environment for him?
I mean, if I don't text him out, I'll go to him face to face and let him know what I need or what I want, because it's a difference. And that's how I go to him as far as if I need something, if he, what I need for him to do for me or what I want. That's what I do. I'll go face to face if I don't text him.
So, Lamont, what advice would you give? Because how old were y'all when y'all got married?
I was 19.
And so,
No, I was 21.
Yeah.
So you was 21 and Tanika was 19.
It was a long time ago.
So you got a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old, and people say that, oh man, when you marry young, boy, it just don't work. So what would you say to somebody right now that has married young and they discouraged right now and they feel like they need to leave it alone? What would you say to that person to keep their marriage strong? What do they need in their marriage to keep it strong?
They need an idol. They need an idol. They need to surround themselves with people or persons that they desire to be just like. It's very difficult. I see this a lot in marriages today. Married couple always hanging with single people. That's a big no-no because the interest is not the same. If you can, young couples, if you can, let's love on our seniors. My grandmother, God bless her, she's gone now, but my grandmother got married at the age of 13 years old. All of our great-grandparents did the same thing pretty much. And there's still a lot of senior citizens out here that still, live in that church. We call them Big Mama. Get up under them. As a man, I'm kind of speaking to the men right now. You got to be a grown man about yourself. You got to be a grown man about yourself. You have to humble yourself down and talk to yourself. Yo, do I want this marriage to work, or I just want to go ahead and do what I got to do? You got to talk to yourself. They always say look in the mirror. So you got to have them conversations with yourself. But yeah, number one rule that I've always done was I found certain couples in my church, senior couples, and I stayed up under them. I picked their brain, and I seen how they move themselves together. I seen when he stand up, mama stand up. I seen him hold the door open for her. I seen he wait till she grab her purse. He was patiently waiting. I seen when she would patiently wait on him to grab his cane and grab his Bible. Keep your eye on them type of people. Watch how they move and ask them to come to their home. I guarantee you they'll never say no. Go have dinner with, take your wife or take your husband and go have dinner at their house. Just the good old way. That's what we call it, the good old way. So it just depends on that, Miss B, and it depends on what's on the inside of a man,
So basically you want to surround yourself with other married couples, like that single stuff and going out with single, because they doing single things. So you got to surround yourself around people that are married. When those single people saying I'm getting ready to go to the club and we get ready to go out and meet these girls and so sometimes they can be your friend that's the hanging by stuff, but when they get ready to go do some single stuff, you gotta, I'm going to the house to wife or the husband or whatever. You can't do those single, you can't mix those things. So to keep your marriage strong, you gotta hang around people that are like you. You can't hang around people that ain't doing what you trying to do. If you want to be married, you can stay married. You just have to be around people that are married. Surround yourself around positivity. Right. So when it comes down to the work, Tanika, let's just say Lamont let's say he lose his job or whatever. What kind of support do you give him, or do you go off on him?
Oh,
You know, you don't lost your job. How do you support that by him being a man, but he don't lost his job? What kind of attention do you give him as a wife, and he just lost his job? What kind of attention as a wife would you give your husband?
I'll definitely let him know that, you know, no matter if you lost your job or not, you know, I'll be the backbone, you know, but, you know, we still gonna go out and look for a job, but I'm gonna be the backbone until then. Make sure that things are being taken care of, even if I have to get 2 or 3 jobs. That's what I'm gonna do, because that's what we do. It's a team thing. It's not an I. So we're a team. So that's how we operate in our household.
So basically what she's saying is, just because you are a wife and that man is the provider, don't treat him like it's something so bad just because he done lost his job. You still want to encourage him, you know, that it's okay. Don't let him feel more down. He's already feeling down. It's a hard thing out here to be a black man and losing your job. It feels like the world is against you already, and then you have to come home to a wife that's gonna beat you in the head too, like, you lost your job. Like, we still have to give that support. We gotta still love on our men and let them know that I still got your back. I'm your backbone. Keep your head up. I still have you. I know that you're gonna still get another job. Bump that job. They needed you. You know, like, make them feel strong. Because they really are strong, powerful men. They just need strong, powerful women to have their back. How you feel about that, Lamont?
I totally agree with everything you just said. You know, we can't get it twisted. We have to dissect the word marriage. Marriage is not just about love. Marriage is also a business. And you have a marriage license, not a marriage certificate. If you look at it, say marriage license. It's a business. So, you know, when things fall apart, you got to keep it going. You got to keep it going. You have to do whatever you have to do. For an example, if mama lose her job, or if daddy lose his job, you know, the business can't fall apart. We have to make it do what it do. If you have kids, whether they're in the home or not, you know, hey, we are a family. This is a business. We need to come together because dad just broke his leg, you know. But again, our young generation, they don't quite see it that way. And I think things like this platform will help them see and understand that what it really takes to keep a strong marriage going. But yes, absolutely, we got to keep it going. If one falls short, you know, others will come up.
So 27 years is a long time for a couple to be married, but it's not a lot of years. 27 years is really not a lot of years. We want forever.
Absolutely.
You know, so in your marriage, when you're vowing to something, you want to make sure that is a forever thing. Make sure you're marrying somebody that you love. I'm gonna say everything about them, even with some things that you don't like. You still love those things about that person, because a lot of times it don't go away just because you marry them. So it can be very small things that you don't like. It can be they got ugly toes or something. That ain't gonna go away.
Right.
You know, or they do this little thing with they head or something and you don't like it. Whatever it is, you still gotta know that those things don't go away just because you marry that person. So what would you say to the person that married somebody just because they had a baby?
Bad move. Very bad move. I wouldn't suggest that, because first you have to acknowledge this, that if that is the case, 9 times out of 10 a marriage ain't gonna last. And I've told, just to prove a point, I told my kids this, and because I never know what the future holds, but I told my children this because I'm just being straight up with them. One thing's for certain, I will always be your father. You know, I may not always be your mother husband, but I'll always be your father. And I tell them that. I just lay everything out there on the line. Are we having any problems? No, none whatsoever. but still, I just put it out there. So don't put yourself in that situation. Sometimes it's best for a couple not to be married because of a child. Sometimes it's just best for pops to take care of the kid over here, moms take care of the kid over here, and you know, keep that bond between the kid, and everything will be great. Sometimes it's more damaging. And I've seen a lot of older couples go through that as well. Oh, I'm just together because of the kids. How you do that? You know, I don't get it. So, no, I would not suggest that at all.
Yeah. So, you still both can take care of the child without being married. So a lot of people would suggest that you already love the person and already get married and then have the kids. A lot of times, you know, the way life has been always taught is that you should find your wife, you know, the man finds the woman and finds his wife, that you should always get married first and then have the baby. So it's almost like a process thing that has been set up for us to go by, so that we're already set up.
Parent planning.
Yeah, so it's like that. It's like set the foundation and then build off the foundation, so that you know what you're getting yourself into before putting yourself out there, because kids are a very big part of two people's lives. Once a man and a woman have a child, that's very big. It can be sometimes, you know, the line between that love and hate, you know, because kids are very, very, very important in a marriage or just a man and a woman's life, period. So we're going to go ahead and close out. And I just want to ask Tanika and Lamont to just give a word of advice for everybody to always remember in a long time of wanting to keep their marriage going. Just give them a word of advice or something to always hold on to with wanting to be married for a long time, and how to keep that going.
Well, the first thing is communication. Keep your business to yourself, period.
That's what I was going to say. Absolutely. Communication. Keep your business to yourself. Real quick, my mother told me years ago when we first got married, she told me, you know what, if you ever go through anything at home, keep it to yourself. She said, if they turn your lights out, she said, close your curtains and light a candle. Don't nobody have to know your business. And this social media has really messed the society up today. Keep your business to yourself. Always be friends. Always be friends. Always tickle your spouse and things of that nature. And for my men, my strong men out there, remember the 3 P's. Preach, provide, and protect. That's our job. When I say preach, I don't mean from the pulpit, but you have to let your household know that was the wrong move. How can we correct it next time? Little Johnny don't eat that yet. We have to pray. Preach, you know, keep order in your home. Preach, provide, protect. That's our 3 P's that us men have to follow. So that's advice that I have.
Thank y'all so much. So remember to stand for something, or you will fall
for anything.
Thank
That's
y'all.
right.